was actually not quite a hobby, the productivity thing. It was really that I was working 18 hours a day in construction, got really sick, and was basically able to work about an hour a day, which meant that I had to figure out how to get more done in less time. I created this framework, which we call OAO, which is to optimize, automate, and outsource everything in our lives. The first O is optimization. And you can apply this to pretty much any problem, any process that you're dealing with, again, whether it's in your personal life or your business life. So optimization, we're talking about looking at how you're actually doing things. I know that sounds simple, but the truth is that a lot of people just don't take the time to actually identify what they're doing with their time and how they're doing things. I can't tell you how many times I ask somebody why they do something the way they do it, and they say, that's how we always done it. Optimization is just that. It's tracking, it's identification. You can do this again in anything in your life. So whether we're talking about something simple like tracking the food you eat, that's an optimization. You can track how you're using your own computer. There's software like Rescue Time that will do that. But simply looking at a process that you go through. And every one of you, I'm sure, has several processes that you do on a repetitive basis, whether it's daily or weekly. And as far as I'm concerned, any process that is repetitive is just one that hasn't been automated yet. So the second part, once we've done that, is to automate. We can automate things now that a month ago a person had to do. And usually it's free and infinitely scalable and error-proof. Basically what we're talking about is getting in the vein or the mindset of set it and forget it. So what are the things that we can put in place in those processes, in our businesses, in our lives, that just run and just happen? Then if anything is left over, that is the first time that we ever consider outsourcing it to some sort of specialist or generalist, whether it's a virtual assistant or a graphic designer or a website designer, whatever it might be. You guys familiar with a company called Zirtual? Zirtual was the largest US-based virtual assistant company. Really simple, virtual assistant is an assistant that's not in the room with you. Basically, it's a person, but they're somewhere remote. They could be across town or across the world. Anyway, so Zirtual, they sent an email on a Monday morning and basically said, really sorry, but we've had financial difficulties. We're shutting down. Good luck. That night had planned having a dinner with my good friend Nick Sonnenberg. And Nick said, well, why don't you just do your own virtual assistant company? 24 hours later, we launched a company with free tools, off-the-shelf tools, no special program or anything. The company was scalable and profitable from day one. And now 15 or 16, 17 months later, we've grown at about 20% a month every month. We have 100 people working for us in 16 different time zones and about 400 or so clients. We never put a cent into the company. It's a new paradigm of how you get things done. So one of the big things that I think that we're particularly good at is the automation aspect. So I'm gonna go through one example of how we do that in a very advanced way, but again, using basic software. Hiring is one of those things that's like one of the more inefficient processes that I think I've ever seen. So how many of you are familiar with Trello? Trello is a project management tool. It's a free tool. And typically the way that you set up a Trello board is that it's like an assembly line. The real fun comes in is that I can automate a lot of this stuff. So as I said, in about 3 hours, I built us the perfect, scalable, basically free hiring process. Okay, so how many people are familiar with Slack? If you don't know, Slack is a communication tool. It's basically a chat platform on steroids for a company or a team to work with. Where it begins is that somebody fills out an application. When that person fills out that form, there's an automation that happens. The way that you can think about this, and this is extremely helpful in terms of how you think about how you can automate things in your own business, is in terms of triggers and actions. So in this case, somebody fills out that form, and Zapier creates a card in Trello, and it also posts into our Slack, and it posts their response to the question and their video, and because YouTube plays really nicely with Slack, it expands the video, we can play it right in there, and we can talk about it right there. If I take the card from the applicant and I see their video, I'm like, okay, this person, we're gonna move them forward. All that has to happen is we drag this card to this column, and that automatically, because of Zapier, will send them an email saying, great, you moved to the next phase. Here is our Calendly link, so you guys know Calendly. So they get this email saying, we'd like to do an interview with you. Please click this link, schedule an interview. Once they get through all that, then we're gonna hire them. Because another thing, by the way, it's important to think about with automations, when you think about the triggers and actions, is that one trigger can have multiple actions. The one thing that they do can then put it in Slack and Trello and put them into our payment system and add them to Slack, and all these different things can happen off of one action. You get like a domino effect going. So it's like a really, really good process that takes very little effort on our parts, delivers really high quality people on a consistent basis, and is infinitely scalable. If we had 100 people apply today, it wouldn't change anything.